Namaste and greetings to you, beautiful souls. From now on, I will call you my beautiful souls, not my beautiful queens, because queens, you are in your physical incarnation, queens and kings, but who you are really, you are beautiful, eternal, and immortal souls. Today in this video, I will not use no cards. But I want to ask you to listen to what I'm going to share with you. I will share with you a little piece of one text, and after I finish reading it, I will tell you where it is from and what it is about. I have already told you so many times about Michael Newton books, Destiny of Souls, Journey of Souls. Why I wanted you to read especially Destiny of Souls, because he explains types of soul mates, and I already explained you so many times that no one randomly appears in your life. And everyone is dreaming to find eternal love, immortal love. Allow me to share one little secret with you. One little secret. Every love is eternal. Every love is forever. And we connected with each other for eternity. Again, Michael Newton explains soul groups, very detailed explanation he gives, but those we love and those who love us, the most important dear people in our each life, it's forever. Love is forever. Eternal flame, eternal love. Those of you who have been with me for a long time, even though I avoid to say these words and I rarely say them, rarely make videos on this, I am so-called key twin flame. And one of my calling goals, my path, is to help you remember that you are ancient, immortal being of light. You have been, you are, and you will be. And love in your life, whatever love it was, is, or will be, it's not gonna be gone nowhere, because love is essence of it all. Now allow me to read you a little part of a story. I promise this happened several weeks after I have found him. I wasn't doing anything mystical, just cooking dinner for my children on an ordinary day in January. My funny-looking little Dutch hound, Maxie, was running and jumping around me. Suddenly, everything disappeared before my eyes, going pitch dark for a moment, and I saw a place where the color of ochre and saffron prevailed. Instantly, I felt almost unbearable pain and distress. Oh, that pang of recognition, stifling heat from heaven and earth, scanty vegetation, though dry and barren, this desert-like landscape was so beautiful. All of this was heartbreakingly familiar. I saw a man and I saw a woman. I knew the woman was me. But from a very long time ago, hundreds of years ago, the man sat on the ground with his arm wrapped around her in a tender embrace. The woman was dying. In the next moment, I was no longer an observer. I was there. I was this woman in his arms, with impossible chest pain tearing me apart. Words cannot begin to describe the excruciating agony, but the anguish in my soul was much, much more powerful. I had to leave him. I did not want to leave him. Horrifying hopelessness and devastating despair consumed me. How could I possibly leave him? Everything in me wanted to scream, beg, curse. I did not want to go. I loved him more than anything in existence, more than anything. I loved him. I was woven out of this love. I was created out of this love. We were one. Parting with him was unthinkable, unbearable. But my time on earth was over. I knew it, and I couldn't do anything about it. I was about 40 years old. I looked almost the same as I do now, but my hair was plaited in a very long braid. The clothes I wore were almost weightless, bright, beautiful, and easily recognizable. An Indian sari. The man, weeping bitterly, heart-achingly, was crying from pain, despair, and hopelessness. He knew I would be gone soon. He knew that no one, nothing could help me anymore. He held me tightly in his arms, tears streaming from his beautiful dark eyes. Lala, my Lala, promise me, you will find me in another life. You will find me again. Promise me, Lala, promise me. He repeated over and over and over again. I wanted to call his name, but I failed. I didn't have enough strength in me to speak. I desperately wanted to touch his face one last time, even though very slightly, just with my fingertips. But I couldn't do that either. Hot, salty tears flowed down my cheeks. Please, oh please, I prayed silently to someone, let me touch him. Please let me feel him just one last time. Instantly I felt the strength to raise my hand and caress his face. I was able to look deep into his impossible, incredible eyes. We stared into each other's eyes. For a moment, time ceased to exist. Stars and planets stopped their eternal voyage. Eyes to eyes. Eyes to eyes locked in existence. One soul in two pairs of eyes. One soul. One soul. Promise me you will find me in another life, Lala. Promise me, he whispered. I promise you. I was able to say, I promise you, I will. Then the scene disappeared in pitch darkness. I found myself sitting on the floor of my kitchen in absolute disbelief. My little puppy was jumping around me, trying to lick my face, wet with tears running endlessly from my eyes. Everything I had just seen disappeared. But one thing remained, that terrible, excruciating pain in my chest. If someone saw me at the moment, that they would probably decide that I was simply insane or slightly out of my mind. I was sobbing and couldn't stop. I was hugging my puppy tightly, whispering several words over and over again, like a spell, like a prayer, like a mantra. I found you. You see, I found you. I found you. Now I understand why this strange chest pain had haunted me from my very early childhood. A pain that at times becomes completely unbearable. Dozens of cardiograms and examinations reveal absolutely nothing. Now it all made sense. This pain followed me into this life. Maybe it was necessary. Perhaps I had to have it to remember the promise I gave. The promise. I gave it. And I kept it. I found him. But what would it change? What could I do about it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It all seemed utterly hopeless. Hugging my puppy and shedding tears was probably my only option. Under those circumstances, what else could I do? The man I gave that promise to in this life was one of the biggest and most famous celebrities in the whole wide world. He was a mega star, a movie star. He was known, loved, and idolized by millions of people. He had the same incredible dark eyes, same gorgeously shaped lips, slightly too full and too sensual for a man, and the same mane of dark black hair. Yes, he looked just the same. Only now he was one of the highest paid actors, the holder of many prestigious awards, one of the most respected and beloved stars in the world's film industry, highly admired and adored by both critics and ordinary people. He was called the god of acting, a living legend. He held half of the world in the palm of his hand. Even little children knew his name. The phenomenon of his popularity and magnetism could not be explained by anyone. He was a star in every sense and meaning of this word. And yet, he was the very same man who cried, holding me in his arms and begging me to find him in this life. How could that even be? Why? But this was the truth of it. And I could not change a thing. I could do absolutely nothing. In this life, he was as far from me as a distant galaxy. For an ordinary woman like me, it was impossible to reach out to him. Impossible. But I did. I did reach out to him. Somehow, I managed to do something that looked insanely impossible at least at the logical point of view. But destiny is a destiny. Karma is karma. What is written and meant to happen before we come to earth will happen. And after all, I swore to him. I promised him. I gave him my word. I had to keep it. So I did. I vowed to find him. And I did. But it took me almost 40 years of my present life to finally find him. And it seems to me that I have lived at least 1,000 lives over the past 5 years after I had already found him. It took me that long, not only to reach out to him, the great and inaccessible star, but also to make him believe me, to help him remember. No, I cannot and should not say that I did it all by myself. If it were up to me only, I would have done absolutely nothing. After learning who he was, I wouldn't have done nothing, but much higher forces intervened in my story. And I have done what I was meant to do. How was I able to do that? How much of me did it take? What did I have to go through? How did I manage not to give up, not to break? I will tell you about it. I will tell you about it, fully understanding and realizing that there will be quite a few skeptics among this book's readers who will say there is no such thing. But I am here to tell this story. I am here to tell. This is a part of my book which took 6 years. I started writing it in January of 2015. And it was out in my native language. December 25th, 2019, becoming I think 3 times already a bestseller. It was since December of 2019. And a little less than 2 years it took me to translate this book into English. Today is 7/07/2021. And today the Kindle version is available now. The printed version of it, print on demand, is going to be available in several days. If you want to read it, it's gonna be my biggest award as someone who didn't write it with words, but with very fire of my soul. I have to warn you, this is not the easy read. It's not something which help you to relax. This is something which will shake you to your very core. I have many thousands of reviews about my book, and I decided to be not modest by putting one of the review of a highly professional person into the description of this book. She wrote such words when she read it. This is the story this world had never seen before. Prepare to be shaken. Prepare for a transformation. Prepare for the revelation. Prepare for the sacred truth of who you truly are. This novel is a beautiful story of eternal love carried in the hearts of one man and one woman through many lifetimes. They are twin flames, two halves of one soul, lost in their current incarnation and destined to find each other again. This story is about what is important for each and every one of us. This story is about the reasons why we choose to come from the realm of the spirits to this planet, which many ancient texts call the Valley of Tears. Our heroes will experience pain and joy, betrayal and nobility, failure and victory. But above all, this novel is about the power of love, eternal and immortal. Such love will deeply touch your hearts and leave you in awe, and your world will never be the same. You will never be the same. This story will shake you to your very core, and I truly and deeply believe it will shake the world as well. A journalist, psychologist, author, TV host, member of International Union of Writers, Miss Rooney. This, my beautiful queens, what I wanted to share with you today. I was explaining you and telling you a lot about this book already. What is my award for this? I cannot tell you amount of job, amount of heart, amount of everything put into it. What do I want? You will find yourself in this story. Each one of you will, and my biggest award, if you take it into your hands, whether in paper form or in digital, and find your answers there. Find your answers. Get in touch through it, because it's a portal. And I am It's not like I'm bragging and praising myself. I know it. It's a portal to your higher self, your very own. You will find the answers through this book, coming from your higher self and from your guides. This is my legacy. This is what I leave to all of you on this, in this dimension, on this planet. Now I think my mission fulfilled, and I still hope I will do more. But even when I'm no longer here, you will have this book. You will have it, and in any moment of despair, ask your question and open up, and you will just read whatever page you see. You will find it there. I hope that I somehow will become answer to your questions through this humongous work. It would not be possible without your support, without your incredible support. I want to mention several people who are just like guardian angels, never let me down and always hold me with their wings. Madhumita, Gabriela Katana, Carol, I want to hear you playing piano, and I'm sure you're going to be unbelievable in playing jazz. Melanie D'Souza, I promised you a physical copy signed for you and for Eliana, your daughter. It's gonna probably get to you in a month to Goa, India. But I will do it. I promised I will. As you can see, I keep my promises. Martina, I will try to get you hard copy as well, even though to Croatia it's gonna go for a half a year probably. And those of you who I didn't mention, I do know you Patreons, especially everyone who is on my Patreon. I have just received a big, huge box with hand-rolled candles with certain herbs. Patreons, you are my huge, you mean so much to me because you support me and my family, and I like you can't imagine what role you play in my life. Especially thank you for everything, and thank you for listening. Thank you. I am endlessly grateful. Namaste.